I'm your host Rob, and today we'll be reading Skyscraper Window Cleaners of Reddit. What is the most bizarre thing you've ever seen on the job? My ex was a high-rise window cleaner, and he always talked about the crazy things women did. It seems like glass gives them a sense of security, and how they do things that I don't think they do if the glass wasn't there. Women flashing and pressing their chests against the glass, mooning and pressing their ass cheeks on the glass, writing their phone numbers, and pressing it around the glass. There was one point when we were engaged, and he would hold up his finger up and point it to his ring. He wore an engagement ring too. It didn't seem to stop some of the women. In fact, it made some of them try harder, he said. He did say that the hardest for him was the children's hospital, and when he cleaned the windows of the very, very sick children. His company did do the dressed up as superheroes things while they cleaned up the windows, which made it fun for the kids, but he said it was heartbreaking for them. Well, I was watching outside of the windows at the group home I work at. A state was coming by later that week, and I was super bored. I walk up to one of the dude's bedroom to wash it off, and apparently he hears me outside somehow, even though he had his radio turned up to 9,000 like he always does. He rips off his blinds, toast naked, and starts slapping himself repeatedly in the forehead and screaming. This was pretty normal for him, but it's definitely the strangest thing I've seen so far in my life while washing a window. I've been a rope access window cleaner for a couple years, and I've seen my fair share of witnesses. A couple incidents that stick out. A young couple having fun and inviting me to join. An apartment in a ritzy building completely empty other than a table with several sheets of freshly printed, uncut $100 bills. A real-ass mummy sarcophagus. Been offered several joints and various adult beverages while hanging off the side of a building. Animals were always my favorite. Cats and puppies lose their minds seeing you outside the window and will happily chase your mop and squeegee while you work. Always brighten the day. Edit. Another memorable moment was causing a mild panic in the dining room of a local retirement home dementia ward. We felt bad and went as quickly as we could, but the nurses laughing their ass off as they tried to contain the pandemonium made us feel slightly better. Not me, but my uncle has been doing it for years and had so many weird encounters. This one is kinda sad. Having changed companies, he started at his new apartment building. Near the top there was an old lady with a dog. The dog was young enough and was always excited to see him. Eventually he started talking to this woman when he was working through a small window. They became somewhat friends. Then one day, almost a year on the job, he went up and for the first time the apartment was empty except for the dog, which he found odd. So when he finished up, he tried to check and see if she was in but got no reply. A day later, a member of the staff from the apartment block, I think it was the landlord but I can't remember, got back to him and told him that she passed away and that she had no family. Assuming that my uncle knew her landlord, asked about the dog, seeing if there's anything that could be done. My uncle, being the kind fella he was, took the dog. Nearly 10 years later, my uncle still has a dog, a little terrier named Pumpkin. I was visiting my grandparents in a high-rise, looking out the windows a few stories up. As the window cleaners went by, I happily watched them, hands folded behind my back, because the windows were a one-way type thing where they were basically mirrors from the outside in. I knew this because I'd seen the building from the outside. Unbeknownst to me, the level of reflectivity changes pretty drastically depending on the time of day. I realized that when the window cleaners were going by, they had to wash the windows while some weirdo, me, stood about 12 inches from the window watching their form. I am a window cleaner, but not high-rise. The thing I can never understand is when I see lip prints where people have kissed the glass in public buildings. People, if you saw what I clean off those every week, you would never touch the glass, especially not with your lips. Edit. Since a lot of people have been asking me when the glass is super dirty, it's usually grease, old condiments, bird poops, salt from the sidewalks, winter in Colorado, and a lot of the time I can't even tell what it is, it just looks and smells bad. I'm not a window cleaner, but a paramedic. We got one call once to a suicidal window cleaner guy once. We could see what was going on as we approached. He was swinging around and doing tricks in between each wipe of the window, like giant swinging leaps and who knows what else. The police had him come down and asked him what he was doing, and he said he just loves his job. So we told him to be safe and left him to go back to work. Outside the spectrum, anytime cleaners went by, we put the weirdest point we could find on our giant effing TV. We would casually sit there and watch pterodactyls bang on some chick, as if we were watching the news. Hopefully it was weird for them. My grandfather met my grandma while working as a window washer. He put his phone number right up against the glass of her office and he hoped she wrote it down. She did and called, and they've been married for 60 years. I'm not a skyscraper window washer, but a janitor who had to wash the windows in a 6-story building as part of my job. So I used a mix of ladders, wrapping down the windows with a harness to clean the outside windows, One day, I was washing the outside windows on the executive floor where all the bosses and higher up employees had their offices. I was done with one window, so I moved to the next window and looked in and saw the CEO of the company snorting something in his office with the door locked and the lights off. He looked up and saw me in the window, and we made an uncomfortable eye contact for about 15 seconds. Then I just pretended I saw nothing and kept washing the windows. Never spoke a word about it to anyone in the office. But the last day I worked there, he gave me a farewell card with $200 in it and a free solar-powered portable phone charger that the company produced and sold. My uncle has been doing this job for over 20 years. I've had a few weird stories off him. A woman filming a porno. A sign on a window asking them not to clean the bathroom window. Obviously not knowing which window was to what room, they went about their jobs. The bathroom had skinned rabbits hang up. A hoarder whose window were slowly being hidden by the years of collections. A famous footballer who was not with his wife. Not long after this, the company were asked to sign NDAs. What looked like a murder scene. Uncle reported, but it was later told it was fake blood for a TV show that was filming there. His favorite? A dog breeder. Okay, breeder, not the right word. Someone who had 2 litters. Every 4 weeks went back to clean the building and got to see the pups growing up. When he went back and they were roughly 12 weeks, there was 1 pup left. He asked for her, and now he's got a Roddy called Holly. The footballer was Rooney, the hooker he was doing while his wife was pregnant. What I got was a lot of flirting. I don't know if the pane of glass gave him a sense of safety, or if a lot of office chicks are just bored, or if our red overalls were particularly fetching, but something brought out the bachelorette instincts. Notes pressed against the glass. Pretend lesbian performances, you named it. Only seemed to happen when there was a group of ladies though. I'm not sure why, but while I was working on the 47th floor, the window washers had to open a window. It was like a wind tunnel. Papers were blowing all over the place. Not a skyscraper cleaner, but the person on the other side of the window. I was using a single occupancy restroom on the 22nd floor of a building that had a floor-to-ceiling glass window along the side of the toilet. Weird, I know. Anyways, I'm taking a wicked crap and I was heating a romper. So sitting there in just bra with a romper around my ankles, crapping my little heart out, I saw the window washer. It was a little startled, but he thought the windows were tinted and it was fine. At last, we accidentally made eye contact as I was standing up to wipe my ass. Clearly tinting does not work up close. Could have died. I once had a bookcase collapse on me in the office. I was laying on the floor under a pile of books and shelves. I heard a knock. There was a window cleaner at the window, trying not to laugh and asking if I was okay. Friend was fresh out the shower, sitting at the computer desk, naked, when the windows cleaners were at her place. She heard a noise, so she turned around to see the 2 men outside her 3rd-story window. So she screams and runs into the bathroom to hide. Later, she calls the building management to complain and tells her that a notice went out and she must not have seen it. The building management decided to ask the window cleaning service to send those guys to her apartment to knock on the door and apologize to her. Hilariously awkward. Okay, so not exactly what OP was asking for, but a funny story nonetheless. I was in medical school on a psychiatry rotation at the local VA hospital. We're in the 6th floor inpatient psych unit, seeing a guy with schizophrenic disorder. We were asking him about any hallucinations or delusions he may be having. He tells us he was seeing ropes outside his window and was worrying people were trying to get into his room. Seeing that there were clearly no ropes outside his window, we made a note of his persistent symptoms and went about our rounds. About half an hour later, we got into another patient's room and we suddenly see ropes dropping down from the roofs of the building. Turns out the guy wasn't hallucinating, they were just cleaning the windows, LOL. One time in college, I answered a help wanted for a window cleaner. I thought it was going to be one of those high-rise jobs. Instead, when I showed up, I interviewed, it was some metty looking guy in a parking lot. I spent a day with him, going from house to house cleaning people's windows. He told me to pretend like I was his nephew and he kept introducing me to customers that way. Then when we were cleaning windows, he kept telling me his fantasies of banging the housewives. It was super weird. Plus, he chewed tobacco and while driving would spit juice between his legs into the floor of his red truck. Then at the end of the day, he told me it was just an audition and tried not to pay me. One of the strangest days of my life. Once, while cleaning a high-rise apartment, an old lady kindly asked me if I was hungry and proceeded to open a window and hand me a pizza slice. So I sat there 27 stories up, hanging on my chair and eating pizza. It was a good day. Not as exciting as the other stories, but something I'm blown away by when I see ropes is how many people feel guilty about not working when I'm around. When you look to people's work stations, you can see that almost no one works. Most people are on Facebook, YouTube, or they're on the news sites. But the second they notice me outside the window, they quickly switch to an Excel spreadsheet, like they think I'm some kind of productivity spy about to rat them out to management. Keep crushing the internet, people, don't mind me. And also point out the window and saying you missed a spot isn't funny. F you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.